His name was Xin Sheng, and after going through years of political military expeditions and conquests, he had finally succeeded in unifying the whole world. The world was now prosperous with over 10,000 clans living together harmoniously. He was respected as the venerable emperor. It was said that there's a power called the mystery of life, somewhere in the demon boundary. Only by obtaining that would one have eternal power of the monarch. In a hall, the venerable emperor calmly said, "I am heading towards the demon boundary in search for the mystery of life. I will have to trouble you to look after the empire." The kneeling beasts and demons all bowed and shouted in unison, "Have a nice trip, my lord." Years passed, and one day, the venerable emperor finally obtained the mystery of life. It was time to bid farewell to the demon boundary. But at this moment something happened and his surroundings changed. He realized that even though he had become more powerful, he had also turned younger. He couldn't understand why he had turned into a child of the human race. But as he was known as the Venerable One, he had already accepted the fact. But what was surprising was that his empire was nowhere to be found. Such a big empire had now changed into this vegetable market now. Someone picked up the blue-haired boy from behind and said in a mocking way, "This isn't a place for a little kid like you to come." These people were beast women. She then continued, "This place is where the ruins of the ancient empire from thousands of years ago presides, not some playground for you to play kid." The other woman also said mockingly, "A mere kid like you would also want to hunt for treasures. You should do that only after you stop drinking milk, little kid." The blue-haired boy frowned after hearing that. He didn't like the feeling of being picked up by someone. He used his demonic power, Eye of Wisdom, on the beast women. This power was given to only the members of the imperial family. Using this power, one can tell the strengths and weaknesses of someone with just a single glance. He had already seen through the vulnerable spots of these women. He would let them atone for their sins. Thinking this, a boy turns around with an innocent face and says, "Please don't bully me." The women couldn't handle this much cuteness, as they directly fainted. The boy smiled and left. All of a sudden, he stopped and thought. He had heard some important information just now. The beast woman from earlier said that this place was where the ruins of the ancient empire from thousands of years ago resided. The boy was shocked. How was it possible for thousands of years to pass? He had only been in the demon boundary for a few months. So that could only mean the time outside was moving at a much faster speed. He then tried to contact the ministers under him, using the psychic seal, but there was no response. This could only mean that he didn't complete his thoughts as he felt a stabbing pain in his chest. This had never happened to him before. Was this what people called emotion? Now that he was in a human body, for the first time he experienced sadness. All of a sudden, he saw a girl running towards him, shouting to get out of the way. The girl was coming at a fast speed. The boy thought that this girl was some other troublemaker, and she had definitely come here to disrespect and make fun of him. He then checked her with his Eye of Wisdom. It also had another function, and it was the ability to see right through people and calculate the pattern of their movements. He then realized that if he moved a little bit to the left, he would be safe. But before he could complete his thought, something soft crashed on his face. It was covering his eyes, and he couldn't see anything. The girl lost her balance and fell down on top of him. She hurriedly apologized and asked if he was okay. She couldn't see him at all as she had to go somewhere urgently. The boy's face was squeezed by something soft, as he was thinking, "Not only did you knock me down, but now you are even making fun of my height." Well, these were the words he wanted to say, but he couldn't open his mouth. The girl looked really sorry for her actions. Moreover, the boy felt a warm and energetic forcing surge inside his body. Something was rising. The boy was confused and thought maybe this was also one of the powers that came with the mystery of life. At this moment, a female voice was heard, "Zhang Yangyu, what are you doing here?" Two girls appeared. One was a pink-haired and chatty-type girl, and the other was a purple-haired, cold-looking woman. The pink-haired girl said, "Are you unable to restrain yourself after seeing such a cute little boy?" The white-haired girl Zhang Yangyu blushed and refuted, saying, that was not it. Something bad had happened. The white-haired girl continued. She had heard that someone had already reached the deepest part of the inner temple of the ancient empire and intended to snatch away the emperor's treasure. The pink-haired girl said in a worried tone, "That is really troublesome." The cold-faced purple-haired girl then asked, "So what are you planning to do, Zhang Yangyu?" The white-haired girl said in a determined tone, "We must protect the last dignity of the king. We are the last survivors of the ancient empire after all." Hearing that, the blue-haired boy thought, "Just you guys. No wonder my empire met its end." After a while, all the beast girls sat in an open restaurant. They even brought the blue-haired boy with them. The white-haired girl spoke, "This is the closest marketplace to the ruins of the ancient empire. Many businessmen and treasure hunters frequent here." The boy then pointed his finger towards a luxury car and asked them, "What was that thing?" The cat girl replied that it was called a car, and she asked him if he had never seen that before. The boy then pointed his finger towards the tablet in the pink-hair girl's hands. The girl said that it was a terminal. It allowed them to communicate over long distances, and it had many other functions like secretly taking pictures of a cute little boy. The boy then pointed towards the cold-faced girl's dress and asked what that was. She stood up and said these were combat undergarments designed for women. The boy thought there seemed to be a certain power that had been developed and advanced by leaps and bounds in the past 1,000 years, and the name of that power was science and technology. Originally, all kinds of special powers in this world were obtained from the demon boundary. If one wanted to become strong, one must think of a way to communicate with the demon boundary and obtain the power from it. But the location of the demon boundary was so mysterious and unpredictable. Its entrance and exit portals kept changing from time to time. Sometimes it would appear in a dream, whereas sometimes it would have to be called out randomly. Because of this unreliable phenomenon, this world's sages chose to depend on science and technology, rather than the power from demon boundary. The era had gone through such huge changes, and his knowledge was limited. He realized that his identity as the venerable emperor was useless, and it was much better to take advantage of the misunderstandings and learn more about the current world. The cold-faced woman then asked the white-haired girl, "Zhang Yangyu, why did you bring along that homeless boy? We don't have any obligation to look after him." Zhang Yangyu said, "If I didn't bring this boy, then he would be bullied by people, or might even be captured and turned into a slave." She then patted the head of the boy and introduced herself. "I am Zhang Yangyu. Taking care of you for a while wouldn't be a problem for us at the moment. As for my specific level, it is inconvenient to disclose it to others." The boy got confused and asked what she meant by specific level. The girl started explaining, "Well, an individual's strength is measured in levels, from 1 to 100. However, the specific level is considered to be a personal secret. As such, it usually isn't shared so easily. And so there is terms like ordinary, strong, fierce, and savage ranks used to estimate one's strength level." The boy then thought, so there was actually a system that evaluates their strength. However, as long as he understood the rules, those so-called secrets were nothing in front of his eye of wisdom. He then looked at the white-haired girl, and her level status were displayed: Zhang Yangyu, human race, level 8, ordinary rank. He then shifted his gaze to the pink-haired girl. Her status window was also displayed: Tu Shuya, Spirit Fox Clan, level 36, strong rank. The white-haired girl told the boy to be wary of Tu Shuya, as she liked little boys the most. She then introduced the purple-haired girl as Wu Lai. She even told the boy not to frown, as Wu Lai always had a cold face. The pink-haired girl, Tu Shuya, came and grabbed the boy and requested Zhang Yangyu to hand over him to her. She would do her best to protect him. The white-haired Zhang Yangyu got angry and shouted at her to shut up. Wu Lai then spoke up. She said that no matter what, the boy would be a burden. Zhang Yangyu then told her not to worry, as she would take full responsibility of him until she sends him to a safer city later. The cold-faced Wu Lai sighed and said, "Fine, but just don't let him slow us down." The blue-haired boy was thinking something else. The existence of the strength level rating system represents the acknowledgement of individual strength in this era. However, no matter how much he thought about it, this era which upholds individual strength would eventually be the era of chaos. What is weird is that Zhang Yangyu, with an individual strength of level 8, be able to lead a team, whereas everyone is far more stronger than her. The white-haired Zhang Yangyu smiled and asked him, "What should I call you from now? And where did you come from?" But before the boy could answer, Zhang Yangyu sensed something and said in a serious tone, "Here it comes. It is them, the one that is covered by a black cloak. She is finally making a move. She is the culprit behind a secret passage dug within the ancient empire's inner temple." Wu Lai then said, "Well, we were not waiting here in vain. Looks like she finally is off guard. She would definitely go for the treasure now." The pink-haired girl, Tu Shuya, said that finally all of our hard work will pay off. The white-haired girl then told the boy, "We have an important yet dangerous task to do. Could you wait here for us? We will come in a while. I don't want you to get hurt because of us." The boy smiled brightly and nodded. "I'll be fine, so don't worry about me." Zhang Yanyu smiled and said, "After this is all finished, we will buy you something delicious to eat, so make sure to behave well." After saying that, Zhang Yangyu and company left. Looking at their departing figures, the blue-haired boy mumbled with a serious tone, "I promise you all, I won't let you get hurt on my account. You guys don't have to stay in this deserted wasteland anymore. It's time to bid farewell to the venerable emperor of the ancient empire." On the other side, the three girls stopped at the entrance of an ancient ruin. The pink-haired girl said that she saw the cloaked person entering here. The cold-faced Wu Lai then examined the ground and said that there were no footprints. It meant the person was highly skilled. The pink-haired girl also said that they didn't know the situation inside. What if they get caught in a trap? The white-haired girl said that as we are hesitating here, the king's treasure may already have been stolen. Suddenly she extended her hand and grabbed the blue-haired boy who was sneaking around for a while. She then shouts and says, "Didn't I tell you to stay behind? Why did you secretly chase us?" The boy stopped and thought, in this era people are taking him lightly, and why is everyone grabbing him like a pancake? He saw the three girls in front of him and thought, with their number advantage surrounding him, this was plain bullying. The white-haired girl pouted and said, "I already told you that you can't follow us. Why didn't you listen?" The cold-faced Wu Lai pointed towards the boy and then said that they should have gotten rid of him from the start. The pink-haired girl tries to scare the boy and says that if he doesn't obediently go back, he would get eaten. The boy looked at them and thought bullying was never his style. He never bullied the weak, but he was going to tell them to stop. At this moment, something moved towards the boy at a fast speed. The white-haired girl blocked the attack towards the boy. Everyone instantly became alarmed by the sneak attack. The white-haired girl spoke calmly. "This was a trap set up by Yingdao. That's meant to delay us." The three of them charged towards the ruins. Leader Zhang turned around and told the boy not to move as this was their fight, and they didn't want him to become a casualty. The boy, seeing the eyes of the white-haired girl, remembered something. He then looked towards the structure and wondered, "Why do I get a familiar feeling seeing this?" On the other side, inside the ruins, a figure covered in black cloak was laughing. She removed the cloak and shouted with excitement, "I finally found it. The venerable emperor's throne." On the throne was a scepter. She, while trying to touch the scepter, said, "This was the scepter that allowed the venerable emperor to dominate during his reign. Now this is mine." All of a sudden she heard a cold voice. "Remove your dirty hands." Before she could attack, a shining blade was already on her throat. Zhang Yangyu then continued, "This is not something that you can touch." The eye-patch woman turned around and gritted her teeth, seeing the trio: Zhang Yangyu, Tu Shuya, Wu Lai. The eye-patch woman starts laughing and says, "Aren't you three the last remnants of the ruined ancient empire? How pitiful." She suddenly turned around and shot 3 daggers made up of energy towards the white-haired Zhang Yangyu, but it was stopped by the pink-haired Tu Shuya. The fight resumed as the trio charged towards the eye patch woman. As the woman was near the specter, she picked it up and infused some of the energy in it, and directly attacked the three of them. The specter started vibrating as it shot black tentacles towards the trio. Even though Tu Shuya tried hard to defend, it was all in vain, as she was caught by the tentacles too. She was shocked as the tentacle blocked her spiritual attack too. The eye patch woman laughed as she felt the power within her. She thought she could claim the world and become its empress. The woman smirked and said, "As long as I have this scepter, I can achieve anything. As for you three survivors from the ancient empire, you will be used as sacrifices for my new empire." She then directed the energy attacks towards the trio with the intention to finish them off. Zhang Yanyu realized that it was their end as they couldn't dodge it. But she didn't close her eyes as she wanted to face her end with courage. But what she thought of never happened, as a childish yet majestic voice was heard, "Playtime's over." The energy attacks disappeared as someone touched the specter. It turns out that it was the blue-haired boy, but his appearance had changed a lot. The boy calmly said, "Put down that toy in your hand." The eye patch woman got so angry seeing someone pop out of nowhere and stop her attack, that she started cursing. As the power of specter dissipated, the three of them got freed. The woman got frustrated seeing the specter was not responding to any of her commands. She couldn't hold back anymore and unsheathed her sword. She shouted angrily, "I've waited 3 years for this moment. Don't even think about getting in my way." She pierced the sword and took out all her anger on the boy. The sword pierced the boy's chest. Seeing this, Wu Lai couldn't contain her rage and shouted, "How could you kill an innocent child?" The eye patch woman laughed and said, "He was looking for death the moment he came in my way." At this moment everyone heard a calm voice, "Oh, I really missed this." The boy smiled and continued, "This feeling of getting stabbed in the chest makes me remember the days when I had just become the emperor. At that time, those who had a grudge against me constantly wanted to end my life." The eye patch woman became shocked and instantly took out her sword from his chest. When we see something incomprehensible that our brain couldn't function, we feel fear, which slowly turns into primal fear. The woman had never seen someone smile after getting stabbed, moreover no blood flowed. As she got terrified, she couldn't control herself and directly beheaded the boy. As the head flew by and landed somewhere, the woman finally sighed, as no one would be alive after this. At this moment, the head on the floor spoke, "Not bad, not bad. You have improved." The headless body walked towards the place where the head was lying. It picked up the head and continued, "A mortal dies 8 seconds after being stabbed in the heart, but getting your head sliced off leaves you with only 3 seconds. The woman was terrified, frightened. The only emotion she felt was deep, primal fear, which made her tremble. Finally, the boy attached his head and asked, 1,000 years have already passed. Is there no faster way to kill someone in this world?" The boy once again smiled and said, "I hope you can help me broaden my horizons." Finally, the eye patch woman couldn't take it and fell on her back. With a trembling voice she asked, You are not a human. What kind of thing are you?" The boy said, "My name is Xin Sheng, and I am the venerable emperor. Do you understand the severity of the crime you committed?" Hearing those words, the eye patch woman laughed manically and refuted, "Impossible. The venerable emperor Xin Sheng had disappeared long ago. How could you be him?" The cold-faced Wu Lai then murmured that she had heard that the venerable emperor Xin Sheng was an immortal, but his figure still remained a mystery to everyone. But how could he be a kid? At this moment the white-haired girl Zhang said, "It is real. He is our king. My ancestor once formed a blood contract with the venerable emperor, and I could feel a connection with him now." She continued, "I have never felt this kind of excitement before. He really is our venerable emperor." The eye patch woman couldn't comprehend the reality, or maybe she refused to believe in it. She shouted, "What kind of joke is this? I don't want to die at the hands of this unkillable monster." Xin Sheng smiled and said, "You indeed won't be dying by my hands. A real emperor won't take the job of an executioner. At this moment, the silver-haired Zhang Yangyu awakened her true self. She shed her level 8 normal rank and turned into level 48 savage rank. The eye-patch woman gritted her teeth and was about to attack when Zhang Yangyu had already attacked her. Zhang Yangyu's eyes were emotionless, as if she had turned into a different person from before. After the eye-patch woman died, only then did Zhang Yangyu realize that she had turned into a different person. There was a mysterious power flowing inside her, which was making her stronger. Xin Sheng thought, 1,000 years ago, I signed a blood oath with Zhang Yangyu's tribe. It seemed like this kid had awakened her ability to steal others' powers. This was the first generation's ability of the Zhang Yangyu's tribe. It seemed like it also improved her power level. After a while, the white-haired girl cried and slowly said, Subject Zhang Yangyu congratulates the emperor. She wiped her tears and said, My tribe has been here waiting for 1,000 years. We have always waited for the return of the emperor. She then hugged him and continued, This subject is willing to fight for the emperor until the end of my life. Xin Sheng felt suffocated and said, Wait, isn't this kind of congratulation a little bit weird? At this moment the cold-faced Wu Lai kneeled and said, Even though I still don't trust you 100%, but I believe this scepter is yours, right? Xin Sheng felt embarrassed remembering something and hurriedly said, Nope, this is not mine. This was a toy invented by someone who had nothing to do. He wanted to make a fool out of me in public. He then continued, And also my closet. It was quite tiring for me to find my old clothes in it. As these clothes were magical and could adjust to the size of the wearer, it fitted me perfectly. The fox girl, Tu Shuya asked, Then where is your real throne, your majesty? Xin Sheng slowly said, My throne? My inheritance only belonged to 3 people in this world. I wonder if my throne still exists. The white-haired Zhang Yangyu said in a determined tone then, As long as you give me an order, I am willing to go on a conquest with you. The boy Xin Sheng was surprised and turned around. He said, A conquest? Huh. Seems like you don't know the king's way of ruling. There are no kings who create territories. Rather, it is the territories that are in need of kings. As he was walking out of the ruins, he said, Come with me. Show me if there is still a place in this world that can be made mine again. Well, that's all for this video. Tell me something. How would you describe the main character in a sentence? Answer in the comments.